because like Nitro is the IGL, right? And you cannot expect, at least in my eyes, like it is really hard to expect Nitro to be like super impactful and firepower-wise. Like it has never been a strong asset for Nitro. I've coached him. Like I know the importance of him as an IGL for the team in terms of leadership, in terms of controlling the things. But you know, he needs his teammates to step up their game in order for them to win against some of these opponents.
I do want to throw Elijah's name into the spotlight because we came in with a beautiful piece of content, really praising him, obviously previous DHL MVP as well. Again, just adding to the list of Liquid names that really didn't show up earlier today. And he is always somebody that we look at to be a consistent force, particularly since Jacinda has entered the team. It's, you know, allowed him to have a little bit more space. I feel like that kind of double-pronged attack has been really solid for Elijah.
Yeah, they actually spoke about it in an interview. So basically, when Jacinda comes into this team, Jacinda takes a lot of the aggressive entry roles, middle of the map, and that traditionally is all of Elijah's spots. So Elijah moves to more late round lurking positions, and for me personally, I thought that might be a mistake, but it's actually borne out to be a very good move. Elijah seems very confident in playing in these late round situations, and maybe is a better lurking player than any of us anticipated. So he has had a very strong few months, but maybe in that game, didn't quite show up.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, Elijah has always been pretty much the star player for that team. I mean, he's proven to be one of the best players in the North American region, undoubtedly, but like, you know, even the world. Like, I think he's crucial for this team. He's been, I mean, in the team for such a long time.
Yeah.
Also has a pretty, you know, important role in the team in terms of like, you know, leadership-wise. Like, I mean, at least when I coached this team, right? Like, it was mainly Nitro and Elijah, like, always like deciding the stuff, you know, like Elijah has a very strong opinion about things. Like he's very smart. He's a guy that studies the game a lot. He prepares a lot for his game. Like needs to be on his comfortable zone completely in order to deliver. So like, you know, now, even now joining Jacinda and Nitro, like they have a strong core with people that likes to voice their opinions, that likes to be impactful in the game, that likes to control things. And you know, I mean, it is pretty unfortunate to see that Elijah hasn't been able to perform in the first game. But I wouldn't be surprised if he delivers in this next one. So
yeah,
he's just such a good player.
They do say lightning doesn't strike twice, or maybe the lack of lightning not striking twice. I don't know. There's an analogy to be made there. I should have been wearing my glasses because the map veto did play out on our screens, and it is going to be Inferno coming up again. So Peacemaker not too scared for Liquid to be picking into, or be ending up on this ground rather again.
Yeah, true. And I think it's kind of expected. You know, both of them likes Inferno, and I think that's good for Liquid. You know, that they're deciding to play Inferno, that they're not scared of playing it. And I mean, Sprout also does like Inferno, so I mean, this could be a close one, but you know, experience-wise, just in general, like you know, for the Sprout team, I think it is hard to compare them to Liquid or any of the teams here, right? They are relatively young. Like they, you know, the core of the team is Danish, and then they have a guy from Germany and then a guy from Romania, right? I don't know how's the culture in the team, like if the synergy and everything. Like we still haven't seen much from them in big events, at least, right? This is their first event, so I mean, I just can't believe that the Liquid roster, with the experience they have, the players they have, that they would face like any challenge during this game at all. I don't know. What do you think, Alan?
I would say if there's an opportunity here for Sprout, it's Stair and Lonks. They're by far and away the best players on this team. They're the young guns. They're the players that were brought in to be the skilled ones around the experienced names, around Slacks, around Refresh. Zyphon's even reasonably experienced, actually, versus some of these guys. So we're looking at them. I think Lonks especially, he's more of a kind of an anchor and actually a lurking presence, but he has such monstrous impact. He's so good at this new role. I mean, I'm at least coining it like the aggressive lurking role, like this sort of Axel spots where you get a lot of space, but you go for frags and you love to take duels. And Lonks is really very, very proficient in these positions, so he's the man to look out for. Stair as well has had good performances, of course. That's why Astralis expressed interest in a player like him. So if there's a window of opportunity, these guys probably need to be the best players on the server to beat Liquid here.
I'm gonna bring one thing about Slacks as well. You know, like we had a couple practices back in not too long ago against Sprout online when I was coaching Imperial. And I have to say, like, this guy has been insane online in practices and stuff like that, at least the times we did. He was really, really good. And I think he still has to deliver on LAN. And I don't know, like, it is hard to judge, you know, like the amount of time he's been playing for that roster. Like, he's been in Sprout for almost 2 years from what I've seen, you know. So he's been in the roster for a long time, different iterations of the roster, should be comfortable as a team, you know, and I think that no, it's time to prove himself on LAN, on the big stage. But he has what it takes, you know. He's been very, very he has impressed me a lot, at least online during the practices.
Yeah, certainly a staple part of that Sprout roster. I do want to contextualize kind of Sprout's journey, I guess, to get to this very stage, because we saw them with beating in the EU RMR, the RMR A, actually having some really, really solid results, which cemented themselves in this Legend stage spot. That's why we haven't seen any of them in that Challengers run. But then we look at the actual results at hand, and for me, actually the most impressive result is that loss versus Faze, because it was so incredibly close. Some of the other names that they actually managed to take down, you know, most of them didn't make it to this very stage.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that Faze game is probably the biggest result for the organization. And they lost the series. The first 2 maps were overtime, but they just showed so much class and so much composure for a team in that position. And you got to think that's the biggest match of some of these guys' lives.
Yeah.
For Stare and Lorgs especially, they're not got a lot of LAN experience, especially against a team of Faze's caliber that are going to be pushing them around the map so much. So, yes, that game was very impressive. You are correct to the other games. They got pretty favorable matches, let's be honest. They got very favorable matchups. They were helped out by upsets elsewhere in the bracket, so maybe they weren't of the caliber to be in the Legend stage, but they were definitely good enough to be at this major, and they proved it against Faze in that game.
No, they took advantage of, you know, a bracket that was favorable to them. There's no shame in doing that. I want to throw a question to your way, though, Peacemaker. Obviously, we see for Fresh the Man on our screen now, in-game leading for the side of Sprout. You worked with him on previous rosters. Mad Lions was the one we were talking about earlier. How do you feel about him kind of pivoting into this particular role?
Yeah, I mean, Refresh, he's I mean, he just transitioned to the IGL role, right? And I had experience coaching him back in the days in Mad Lions. The thing about Refresh is that, like, he's just very good at, like, controlling. He was very good at controlling the pieces around him when he was playing. Like, I don't think firepower has always been, like, a strong asset for him as a player. You know, he was very, like, you know, very good at, like, team-wise. He was very easy to deal with. And pretty much like selfless player, you know, didn't care about whatever role he had to do and if he needed to learn anything. Like, so, you know, I think it does make sense that he wanted. Like, at least I saw the interview when he joined this roster, right? It did feel like he was very excited about this opportunity. Now, coming from Heroic, after spending a long time in Heroic, definitely learned a lot of things. And, you know, I just love the Danish Counter-Strike scene in general, the school they have. I think they're very good, like, in terms of fundamentals in the game, the way they approach CS, it is very difficult. So for Refresh to take this leadership role in this team and taking, like, a relatively young and experienced players, I think it's nice, you know. What if it actually turns good for him and he proves himself as a good agile, you know? But it needs some time. It's gonna take a while until he performs, and we have seen that performance-wise, statistically speaking, like, his performance naturally dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. When you transition and move completely roles like that.
And I like that Refresh was, you know, very candid in an interview after his departure from Heroic, saying actually he was really happy for that change to come in. He didn't feel, you know, super comfortable in those positions he was playing on the side of Heroic. He felt like he was given kind of a new lease of life coming into Sprout. But that does beg the question, Alan. Do Sprout have the potential to bring the hurt to Liquid? Are we going to see Liquid in the 0-2 bracket after this game?
The big question is the Liquid that played that mouse game going to be the same Liquid in this game?
Yeah.
My overriding hunch is no. I think Liquid, that was almost the perfect kick up the arse. That was get in the zone, 2 hours to reflect and refocus and get into this. And being Inferno again, I think you'll just see such a different game here. So Sprout will have chances to get rounds. Stare and Launch will win them rounds. They'll get openings. They will create holes in that CT side. But I just feel like Sprout are not there yet in terms of being a comprehensive, flushed-out team. And I think that's where Liquid are at their strongest. Is their fundamentals, their team play are so strong. It's when they play individually, when they get overzealous, when even your Kindar tries to do too much himself, that's when they have problems. But here, ABC default Counter-Strike will probably wipe the floor with Sprout. Simple as that.
Yeah, agreed. And I also think that we could see from the interview with Yekindar that I could just feel that there was something wrong with, like, probably like the approach they had in the game. I don't think it was necessarily like that they had a completely wrong game plan coming into this. They got outplayed completely. I think, at least I could feel from Yekin that there was more like probably the comms were not on point. People are not energetic as they should be. You know, as he said, multiple things made some of the players uncomfortable. And I think they definitely had some kind of a talk after that one. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a completely different style from Liquid in this matchup. You know, and as they should. They are the favorites. They are one of the best teams in the world. They deserve to be here for sure. And they have to be They need to play out of the comfortable zone for sure, but they have to, you know, be aggressive. They need to step up and they need to, you know, set the pace of the game. Because if they just play and respect Sprout too much and play too slow and let players, like you said, like Loungs, pop off, and then suddenly Slax starts playing well as an AWPer, and then, you know, things could go very bad for them. And but yeah, I expect them to change the pace for sure.
I think that is a really good point. I kind of want to turn it into sort of maybe a bite-sized chunk for the viewers who weren't tuned in for that Miles game earlier on today. Do you think, Alan, that they were giving Miles a bit too much respect? Could there have been more aggression to put out from the Liquid camp, or were there just other issues going on that were just made sure, you know, everything was on fire, they didn't even have time to focus on?
I think exactly what we heard from Yakindar earlier in that interview is it's just sloppy. It's just sloppy Counter-Strike. They weren't in the zone. The communication isn't there. And it's the sort of the same deal that we had from Vitality when they're having kind of struggles in those early stages. Is there's so much power in just being good communicators, being on the same page, talking to each other, bringing ideas. And as soon as you close up and nobody's being vocal, nobody's saying, I want to do this, everyone's being passive, that's when all the issues start to seep in. So I think that is this whole angle for Liquid of just being more fired up, more communicative, and then especially for Nitro and Yakindar in terms of the calling presences, just being mega vocal and decisive and just absolutely giving it to Sprout.
Yeah, singing from the same hymn sheet, of course, are crucial when you're coming into any series. But of course, this is the major on the line for both of these teams, both in, unfortunately, a 0-1 position after their opening series. We're going to see if Liquid this time could bring the heat to Sprout on a map. We saw them struggling earlier on. Alex Chad, is Lightning going to be striking twice?
Well, does Lightning strike twice? Only one way for us to find out is heading straight into game. A cutthroat best of one.
It can't get worse for Liquid. That's one of the positives.
Well, it could be a 16-1.
True.
It does have potential currently to still get worse. We'll get to find out live, though. A lot more action to unfold. The second half of the day, Legends stage, and indeed Legends are taken to the stage. Team Liquid up against Sprout. Defensive start for the underdog.
Oh, 4-man B lane here. 2 towards Sandbag. Longs to try and grab some aggro. Refreshes puffing up his chest towards mid. Would you be spotting deep down mid on your lonesome? Probably not, and that's exactly what he wants Team Liquid to assume here.
Yeah, it's a process of elimination, as always. Refresh, look at this, he's so active. He wants them to really be warded off a mid, but they're not buying it. Elysian Nitro starting an adventure of their own. Yakindar to linger. And a 3-man setup of this second component of Banana. Yakindar will be scouting it out. It's about.
They're pushing.
Oh, when the aggression comes in, Yakindar's been waiting for this. Should get run down. Launch with a big find. And now, well, that's surely going to force a rotate. Yeah, the knee-jerk reaction is try and find Refresh. Oh, OC wins the duel. A site open for business. And Stare with one back. Finishes the job. Refresh started. A 4-man versus 3 retake of this A site.
2 flashes here on Stare to make this possible. They're going to come around the short side here. The flashes to enable these fights towards Pit.
No rush kit available for now on the back of Stare. Going through the apartments for a deep clear. It's Pit to be cleared. Graveyard a problem as well. Liquid have established their crossfires, but can they strike first? These are the flashes you were talking about. Nitro ahead of him. Big find. Dancing now. NAV takes an engagement successfully, and Team Liquid overcoming the number disadvantage. Zyphon and Stare scratching their heads, not allowed into the site. Zyphon giving it a good go. It's a Liege, though. On the Glock, leaves Stare alone and indeed contemplating his decisions. Ooh, nothing to be celebrated for Sprout.
Well, you heard in the interview with Yakindar before this matchup was about focus. Let's hope that Liquid are dialed in now, because Sprout, they're no slouches here. I know they're young faces, maybe faces that you're not too familiar with, but they're names that have definitely garnered a lot of traction in recent time. Good shot here from the Liege to close this one down, and a force fight out for Sprout now. And there's the Yakindar we know and love. It's been quite timid. Yeah,
he's injected a whole new level to Team Liquid, and even on just like a personality out of server summary. Now look at Slacks, posted up early, doing the job. We saw Refresh posting up on the USP. Jiggle from OC, got to be careful though. Bomb is on his back, can't be taking any extra flak, and he is considering it. That's a big opener as well, jumping, plucked out of the half wall.
Against the Mag 7 as well. Oh, there's another one. Slacks falls here. So towards A, they'll trundle.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, well, with a Deagle headshot on Nav, trying to disrespect the smoke. Respect is gained only for a moment. Elige, perfect pre-aim, and he's just walking in. Refreshes next. 2 scratched off of the game, and now Lonks with nothing. Absolutely no options ahead of him. Just going to sit and watch as the round does transpire.
Yeah, it looks like Liquid are at least a little bit more decisive in some of their maneuvers here. Right, just the way that they're walking out, taking those duels. Yakindar And a corner off Lonks here towards Banana. Won't
Young.
push too much. Yeah, it looks 17 years of age here. Back 7 in hand. The first shot will land. The Deagle, not too bad either. The headshot there into Yakinda. You might be able to save this here. You don't want to offer too much more up if you are Liquid. You've lost 2 individuals, and maybe you'll call it a day. You know he's contained towards this B-bomb site. Yeah,
there's probably a lot of 17-year-olds watching the games today. Never mind wearing a jersey in front of thousands of Brazilian fans.
They're still coming.
At the top 16 of Counter-Strike's Major. Certainly something to be celebrated, an accolade he can be proud of, but let's see if they can push any further. They're up against Team Liquid as well. Not necessarily an easy scalp to take, although it did look easy for their first opponent. Question is do Liquid shake this off? Is it a slow start as Peacemaker was starting to frame it on the desk?
Yeah, and it's funny just to get blown out of the server in that fashion, starting on the CT side of a map like Inferno,
really
right?
Weird.
Opening kills was something that they were really struggling with. I think it was 4 out of the total 18 that was available in that matchup. Yeah, 18. There was only 18 rounds to play. Liquid had 2 rounds against Mouse. I know Mouse are warmed up in this environment, but even still, you're expecting a little bit better out of them.
Yeah, that Challenger stage buff is real, but they've had a game now. It's a familiar environment for them now, and starting on the T side, perhaps all to their benefit.
Well, Banana control here quite swiftly taken, and this is going to be a consistent factor here of Liquid's approach. Some of the difficult signs they will be having when we move into gun rounds is the fact that Ster and Lonks, the 2 highest rated players for Sprout on this map, are the B defenders. So that maybe is a positive, them being the young guns, right? If they buckle here under the pressure, this is their first major for 3 individuals here, Slacks, Lonks, and Ster. And this is their first stage match at a major. So when you start to pile all of that up, concerning.
I mean, there's a full drum line, you know, as you're sitting there trying to communicate. Yakinda on the cross should have them set, lovely set up, and now 2 on the Mag 7. Ster does voice concern, send them packing.
Alicia's committed with the bomb here.
Yeah, he has yet to round the corner. There's still a crossfire established, and they are coming in. They are walking into this. Ster, Molotov down, doesn't really have the weapon at the range. Nice finish from the Flame, and it's Zyphon down. Eligia's bailed them out again. 7 frags already. 3rd round of play, and now the bomb to be planted. Lonks, typically, as you said, the B player, but was dispatched with the armored Deeg, and hesitant from that plant. They don't want to be falling to any gimmicks in the fading smoke.
You say 7 kills already. In that matchup that we're highlighting here, Elige managed 11, and he was the top fragger. So the fact that he's chasing that total down very quickly here are positive signs for the North Americans. It has been somewhat costly. 2 casualties in back-to-back rounds here. A 3rd would be fantastic for Lonks here. As you can see, just cool, calm, and collected. We'll start the peer on out, and Tingle Bullet will not land. Fun fact with Lonks, if you didn't catch that behind-the-scenes content, his name is Lau, same as FNX, who was his favorite player, and he named himself after him. So the Lau, well, from their names, and the NX from FNX. So yeah, it's the respect being shown here on Brazilian soil.
Love that, love that.
Well, rifles are coming out. No AWP available for OC just yet. They could purchase it if they'd like, but operating with 5 rifles here on Team Liquid. On the other side, Slacks.
This is where I want to keep tabs on Slacks. He's got his signature weapon out, yet to frag. First big stage game. You know, you want to prove to yourself that your opening moves and your aggressive second mid peaks can pay off. Does think better of it just before the potential was realized.
Love the timing there of Refresh deploying that incendiary towards the balcony. They know that the T's throw one for the boiler cross, then he times his as it's fading, which is going to buy you time on the default. So Nap aware of that and expecting to linger like this. Refresh catches the timing, spamming, not on my watch.
Yeah, Nap feeling a bit foolish after that one, a fully unloaded mag as he goes down on bridge.
But that incendiary enabled that play, right? So those details, something Liquid is going to have to keep in mind, but don't worry, if Yakinda's finding you through a smoke, Stare, dead.
Yeah, he's going to be staring at his screen in frustration. Suddenly, immediately, equalized. Yakinda blind, still finds it. Elige with the pressure, smoke. It will lock off Slacks' info.
Oh, gap in that.
Yeah, he's ahead of this. Watch out, it's all on Lonks. Does pass the test. Nitro to trade, needs it, does deliver, and maintains control of this B site now. Calling it clear, calling it clear! As he takes down Slacks, clean through the smoke, takes a leaf straight out of Yakinda's book. 2 frag through smokes, round done.
Yeah, and you check this out. Elige hasn't moved. He's still in the chicken pit. So in terms of any pressure on Banana, they can start piecing this together. Might be the save. And Elige is starting to search and punish here before they can hold on to these goodies. Refresh towards Long.
I mean, how do you know, hype the boys up after a round loss like this one? It's the first gunny. You've just taken 3 on the chin, and you end up getting shot through the smoke cleanly on 2 of your boys.
Oh, Elige might catch him here.
Yeah, Refresh. An interesting storyline, taking that leadership burden after departing Heroic, something that I think is definitely an interesting project.
This volley's going to land here, Alex. He's going to flush him wide. He's going to have to take the fight. He's going to have to take the fight.
It's perfect. And he does go down. Elige farming the indomitable Elige as it currently stands, immortal, 9-0, yet to feel the cold embrace of death.
I want to return to what you're saying about the death through the smoke, right, and how you're meant to operate with that happening, right? Here's the issue. If this was a best of 3, it's easy to chalk up and go, yeah, that happened, guys. But in this environment, you're still going to go, yeah, I just got spammed through a smoke, but it hurts a whole lot more in the best of 1 environment here. So this is Nitro just strolling on in and ripping Sprout's chances straight out of their hands.
Every bullet connecting on that spray.
And understandably so, a timeout will be taken here. Now, maybe you're not too familiar with Sprout, but behind them is Coach Berry, and I think Berry is fantastic. Another name from the Danish Counter-Strike scene, in-game leader, you can see him right here. He's done a fantastic job at scouting a lot of these names. He is a big component of why Sprout is here at this event. The young guns, it's ridiculous. We're talking about 2 18-year-olds, Zyphon and Stare, 17-year-old of Lonks, 23 for Slacks, 24 for Refresh. He was normally one of the younger players when he was over there in Heroic and Co.
It's mad how quick the revolving door spins. But yeah, Barry, credit to him. He is the equivalent in Counter-Strike of, you know, those talent scouts showing up to every college game with his notebook and his video camera. He's watching you as you start your career and then just handing you that olive branch to launch it.
Yeah, and some of the keys with this is it's not messing about, right? Like, Stare, Astralis wanted him.
Right.
That ain't happening. Sprout aren't giving him over here. Lonks was apparently on the list for ENCE, right? We're talking about a Spinks replacement here. So these names with big rosters knocking at the door, they've kept it together.
Let's see how Stare and Lonks handle this. I mean, this looks like Liquid just going to go through the motions. And that was the duel you got given. Bit messy. Happy to provide, though, is Yakinda. And stopping. Doesn't lay down the law. It's Nitro instead that puts Stare on the floor, and that is another round ascribed to the Liquid. This is where you do, you know, that conversation continues. It is a best of 1, and yes, those smoke kills suck, and you can't necessarily do too much about it, but when it's T rounds on Inferno, best of 1, Sprout really are going to start feeling the frustrations bubbling over if Liquid get even close to the 6 or 7 mark.
Yeah, everything is stacked against them here, right? I think it's fantastic this team was able to get straight through the Legend stage. Like what Alan said, they're definitely of the caliber to be here at the Major, but maybe the Legend stage was due to the draw, right? But they had some fantastic matches over there during the RMR, so you can't take anything away from them, and we definitely will not. Zyphon is maybe a name that people are a bit more familiar with that time within the Copenhagen Flames. So there's links back to teams that people may remember, but this is just a completely new complexion and maybe another one of these for the future. But 0-5 down. Remember, first stage environment for a lot of these individuals, especially at a Major.
Yeah, it is so fun as well just to see how that talent of the Copenhagen Flames has just been sown across of the top 20 teams. You know, it was just
give Hooksy a wave,
all
Alex.
These stars.
Give Hooksy a wave.
Yeah, well, 4 of them are here.
Yeah, well, and even the coach.
And the coach.
Well, he was. EG now, but yeah, it was nice to have 4 ball here. But here we go, second gun round. We're already 5 in the hole for Sprout. This needs to change. OC's orb out to play. Slacks is on the other side. Head-to-head duels on Inferno, few and far between.
Yeah, well, the orb's been dispatched early to B. I was wondering if he might be kind of shepherded into a solo B hold. We'll see how things transpire. Utility initial in exchange, refresh, dumping a nade onto OC's socks.
And they've already got the map control they're looking for here. NAV perched in Boiler at a minute 30. Yakinda towards top banana half force, flash forward. And a lot of information. He didn't see much. Here comes the banana rally. And, well, nobody's home. They're tucked to safety, but with the space that they require.
Yeah, so already feeling the brunt of the pressure applied in one direction. I'm not talking Harry Styles. Yakinda, Nitro. Forced to extinguish. Oh, it's a bad one. And oh, it doesn't matter through the fire and flames.
Got away with that one, didn't he?
And there's another nasty one for Slacks. See, I'm just keeping track of his deaths. He's had some nasty ones. The 2 AWP rounds he's had is either a smoke spray from Nitro or mollied out and still fragging the first bullet out of his AK.
But the fact they know it Slacks, the A defense is a little bit weaker now. That's the AWP. He usually plays over towards Arch side. He's in the dirt. They're going to play a 2-2, and Yakinda might secure that info. Another opportunity goes awry. 11 HP, 20 HP, 44 for OC.
You can recover this, though. You can recover this. It does really look at the AWP. Oh, they've actually brought the AWP onto Nitro. With his low HP, he'll be able to provide some covering fire. Elite trying to break down the door, and he does so. Immaculate. Zyphon trying to do more. He needs a double. Does deliver something. Stare as well combined. Puts us in a 2-on-2. Now, bomb will be planted uncontested. I say that. Lonks and Stare, both from long side. Or from Nitro. Denied. Lonks with a big one. puts it all onto Elise. He's already got 2, make it 3 as he looks to close for Liquid. 12-0, no one has been able to put him on his arse. No one can touch him. It's Elise again. Max cash, max stacks, 13-0.
Whoa, give us that smile, Elise. Ellie giggle up into the bank right now.
Sheesh.
What are they meant to do? When they're not winning the opening exchanges, then they trade out. Seems kind of efficient over towards that site here, but the franchise players, this one's ridiculous. Not thrown into the center of mass in the flames right there, but maybe a big reason why he gets that kill and the tap, tap, tap away. Yakinda loves that one. What a start, and this is a change from their first series here.
Someone told Elise he has to really wake up, and he's certainly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed here into his second game of the Major. Yakinda's loving it. He is continuing to through his flight paths and does draw our attention to his ability and affinity for finding gaps, and it won't be many here on the B side with 3 already established. He throws an early present smoke towards CT. You can see he's basically doing the job of a whole team here, and a flubbed smoke from Stag gives Yakinda something to play with. Tap around, spray around, Slacks is gone, and already Lonks, may have been spotted just over the edge of the smoke. Yakinda opens up the account. Clotheslines refreshed, the round is done. Berry's just trying to find a towel. Has anyone got one? I need to throw it in the ring because this one is looking a little alarming for Sprout.
Absolute marauders right now in Banana here.
Sheesh,
Ransacking.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, this is bullying right now. And this is the Liquid we all expected to see in the server. Oh, timing against him. Zyphon will put the bullets down.
That's it. That was his first death, looking the wrong way. Elise concedes and gives him up. A rifle for Zyphon to save. Certainly a nice upgrade from the Deagle. Naf looking for vengeance, but it's a long, long old path. As Zyphon maneuvers back towards the T-side apartments, maybe Liquid will have a little more of a sniff around. You can see Yakinda as well aware the round is his.
I think if we discuss some of the issues in Banana here, I mentioned the fact that there's Lonks and Stare holding over towards that side of the map, and it's not that they haven't had help. They have had help, but they've been unsuccessful. And that's not always because the fight's coming immediately, maybe a bit more dribs and drabs, spam through smokes, but at this point, the bomb site with the 2 names that you'd expect to be able to lock things down have not been able to do exactly that. And what that means is there's gaps everywhere that Liquid can now exploit, either bomb site, right? They are the ones who are forcing Sprout to chase this tail, and even unforced errors, right? He tried to throw that smoke through a smoke, right? So the gray screen trying to get that lineup. Well, it doesn't work. And Yakinda, he will punish any little mistakes you make. That was the M4. Hits the deck before Refresh even gets an opportunity. And here we go again.
Well, I'm on Slack's watch. He's been having a nightmare. We'll see.
4B, that's one way to get Banana control.
Yeah, it should be a guarantee, right? Slack's got a lot of the burden on him for A. Has to be careful with the engagements he chooses to take. And a trade of blows in terms of flames. You can see incendiaries both ways. Timing on the nade. Shy. Safe. Yakinda continues his crawl. He's always managed to get himself up there, but this time they have full control. Needs to extinguish for survival. It's well placed. Will linger within it. Aggression this time. Pushing in his Stare. Refresh supports. And Sprout will have deep Banana control. This is a change. We haven't seen this before. Liquid now, perhaps. And a little bit of a downward spiral in this round. How do you recover? Man disadvantage. Loss of control of the crucial part of the map. Stare does look to concede it upon the smoke fade, though.
But they understand how much utility was used just to get this control. If they can push Stare back out of Banana, you can execute towards B, and there's not a whole lot of crowd control utility available here. 4 players cheating over towards A for Sprout during all of this, but Liquid don't want a bar of it. They are reading this situation very well, and they flush this out. So Refresh looks like he'll be the individual in swing to back Stare up, the countryman on the other side of the server.
Decent nade.
And back to A they go. So the pendulum swinging, they force the rotation. Lonks towards Trash, Slacks and Zyphon to crossfire on the site.
It's Lonks. Has a little glance and loses his head for it. Quick punishment and no trade potential. Slacks and Zyphon now quaking in their boots. 20 seconds though, if you can disrupt, if you can hit a crazy shot or 2, this could be the first round for Sprout. They need it. Need it badly. Recovered beautifully by Liquid. Already it's Zyphon. That's the disruption. Does go down. Time sensitive. That Slacks just needs to live. Just needs to live. 5, 4, and the damage is done. Sprout take the round. Hectic into the finish. But it was Slacks with a double. His first 2 frags are combined with Zyphon. High impact from that graveyard position. And the CTs will post their first.
Well handled, but I think if you're Liquid, you're not too upset with that. You lost the opening kill, you forced the rotations around, and then it got scrappy here. Just pops up, gets 2, and Slacks, yeah, you can see him just cowering in the back of the corner on 2 points of health here, but still getting the job done. And that's nothing to get excited about. Sure, it's a massive hole that you're in right now, but that is the first in digging your way out. This time 4 towards A, and they're barreling down mid.
Oh, I love this. Refresh, he's called himself into an aggressive stance. Not ready. Not ready for that. Look at the damage. Nearly 200 points of damage inflicted in the spray. Nitro and Yakinda, they got missing limbs.
I don't know they're low, but just how low is the real question here. That's Refresh, one of the A defenders down. But that type of maneuver, I was watching back in some of the demos, they've run that one before, so have Liquid done their homework? More posturing towards A, but Longs and Stare, those B defenders, are both in the apartments, and right now everybody from Liquid is in banana.
It's very dynamic. No, if they're considering a boost, it would have to be now. Now. As in already they're at top banana, we should probably get the AWP established kind of vibe. Oh dear, Molly arrives, Slacks in reposition, still Zyphon. Boosted up and successful on the first. Slacks connects as well. This is a perfect 1-2 punch of the defense. Zyphon now playing for time. Plays for the rotate. 2 frags to the good. The man advantage. NAF goes hunting, finds it.
Both banana.
And looking to recover. Well played smoke. It's perfect. They have retake utility. Longs looks like he wants to just jump straight through. A well-placed nade could end Yakinda. HE on Stare.
They're executing on them here.
Full execute. NAF surely going to be Molotov'd out of position. Emo as well, he's going to have to stand in the open. What is the solution? The Molly may have missed. Oh, NAV's behind the new box. He can play the point man. Distract for that low HP of Yakinda. Nade, good on the money. NAV healthy. Only one now. Longs forced to watch and Stare does not have the time for this. He needs it now. Yakinda, well-trained, resistance, futile.
Type of round you think they'd be winning there, especially with how much work Zyphon does from the back of the side. All you can do is sit there and shake your head. I think that's a lost opportunity for them as we have some Liquid fans in the crowd with some drums. So
it was starting so strong. I mean, this is the recovery, isn't it? Third man in, NAF. Good work from him. Of course, Nitro as well. NAF got the double.
You think if that Molotov lands towards the back of the site, maybe a completely different looking retake situation there.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, just a little bit rushed from Sprout here, and understandably so. Again, some banana aggression. Slacks having a look and shot through the wickets, but so much damage done. Nitro, Yakinda, OC all tickled up early.
Didn't stop him before though, Chad. We saw Liquid with so much damage dealt, and already, yeah, poking their nose.
You could just stand here. You could just literally say gun out.
Oh, Shadow out. Elige aware. Stare. Hesitant. And they're coming his way. Easy find on the first. No trade immediately. Does need to get the hell out of dodge. Wide! Super wide out of refresh. And at least traded by the nade. Stare to reposition. NAV still in their apartment. Zyphon underneath that bulk. It's all about the timing in this 4 versus 3. An underhand smoke will completely deny the access from Library. It's Zyphon's the power position. And first OC clears it out, problem solved, site open. Ooh, a bit of a punishment. Stare finishes what he started earlier in the round with a M4 through smoke.
Yeah, this is the type of round Sprout have to win here. Number advantage retake scenario, 2 smokes, defuse kit. The biggest issue is Slacks' AWP, but OC and NAF, they can win this.
NAF, will he be cleared? Will he be checked? Timing is everything. Slacks might take a cursory glance, but it doesn't look like he has. Pin has been pulled. NAF. Spidey senses tingling, right behind them both, and the round reaches its conclusion. The blink of an eye, 3 frags in the feed, and yet another one just slips out of Sprout's hands.
Yeah, and I was going to credit them on the pistol. They actually cleared out boiler and holes on the pistol somewhat as part of their retake, and this time round it wasn't a consideration. There's the reposition, it wasn't considered. A nasty ass NAF, he's just going to walk on out to in the back. And that's where he loves to do his best work.
Oh, frustrations, yeah.
It's going to be a partial investment here for Sprout. It already feels like this has gotten way too far away from him.
Liquid about to do the same thing right back. It's Sprout now that feel the lockout of a CT side Inferno run. Yakinda, lots of bodies in front of him. Hard adjustment and well handled. Stare draws blood. OC quick on the AWP. Charging. Elige actually front of the pack. He's looking for Longs. No, he's there. Confirmed by the smoke. Tucked in and up and over. Down and out. Every defender of the B site meets a Liquid rifle. Slacks to rotate through. Nothing more than an unarmored P250. Oh, and scared of those smokes. I would be too. Throws a couple of bullets of his own. To no avail. Refresh looking to save his armor and his bibblies.
There was no right option there for Slacks, but if he just wanted to hang around for a cheeky kill, he's now alerted them to his presence. He doesn't have a teammate that's close enough to contribute to any of this action here, so Can he save a gun? Can he get a kill? At this point, it doesn't really matter. Double digits secured. I think he wants to drop the smoke to get away here. They're holding him at bay for now. But this is great from Liquid. How the day started to how things are going is a very positive sign for them here at this major. Elise starting to search forward, and if he doesn't clear his corners, yeah, he will be giving up an AK-47. The question is, can he hold on to it?
No. Oh, okay. A little bit of taste. Oh, okay. No one has smokes in this game, I think, actually. I've seen more of these in what's been 11 rounds of play than we have at the tournament so far.
That's nice for OC there to get away with that. Hold on to the AWP, 6 points of health remaining, so very fortunate. You can see Refresh trying to punish on the save. Interesting with OC, right? He does his second major appearance here, but even more curious is it's only the third for Yakinda. That just shows how quick he got to the top of the Counter-Strike table, right? He really surged during the online era,
yeah,
but it's shown that he's obviously a very, very good individual.
And it shows how, you know, quickly you can rise if you're doing things right. You know, he demonstrated his ability, did so through thick and thin and through the pandemic, and then by the time the pandy was done, Yakinda was getting randy in Liquid. An exciting, you know, a crossover I never saw coming.
And I think it was one necessary, considering that Liquid were kind of gurgling down the drain, right? It was not a team that we were excited about. We thought, well, North American Counter-Strike is dead. We'll see it again in 4 years' time.
And not only that, but we brought Daps back. You know,
yeah.
I thought we'd lost him. What is going on there? So there's a chart of Mega Brains. I think it was to do with how big their brain was.
Yes, Alex, that's exactly what that was about.
Thanks, I knew it. All right, well, the horde, the mass of Counter-Strike fans want blood. Let's see who's going to draw it first into round 12.
I thought that was just pretty violent what we just saw on the screen, so either way. He took another timeout here, Sprout, and understanding if they can get themselves these next 4 rounds, maybe there's a shot.
He's so stubborn. Yakinda just catches such a graceful balance of aggression, calculated at the right times, taking his space when it's given. Damage, it's significant. Nades land on Launx and Refresh.
They're really going to fight for this. I wouldn't be surprised if after this smoke, they Molotov towards Sandbag just to be extremely diligent. A boost might do the trick.
Oh, this could be fun. It was pre-aim, timing, everything. Just over there. One head spotted, deleted. Steph still vigilant. That's his first of the round. Puts us into a 4-on-4. Lige coming to knock on the door, right in the open, and Stair gets shut down. Pushing through. Refresh needs the multi, only the one. Nitro to trade his fallen comrade, and the rest, yeah, falls into place.
What else do they have to do in Banana? 3 bodies, so much util, pushing them back, fighting. It's like, well, no, actually, we're playing Wingman. We're just going to fight on one side.
They've played 3 from spawn. They've played all there, 4. They've tried aggression with deep smokes and pushing. Gamble stacks. Nothing's worked. I mean, this is just the kooky Counter-Strike universe that Liquid find themselves on the same map, the other side, that they just got completely blown out on. And now they're handing it to someone else. They're passing off the torch of the stomp.
Yeah, but Yakinda's doing what he needs to do on a map like this. He's currently been involved in 9 opening exchanges, and he's converted 6 of them, right? So that's setting them up in a very tidy fashion.
I saw that incredible chart. I couldn't tell you. I'm afraid I'd like to provide sources when available, but I saw an incredible chart of opening duel attempts. And
that can't be right.
It was Yakinda was off the chart. Everyone else was, you know, there was some front runners, and then there was just Yakinda. In terms of the amount of duels he's trying to take, attempts at an opening duel, Yakinda is above every single Counter-Strike professional player.
I'm trying to doubt. I think I'm doubting myself here. Hold on, let me just quick maths.
Well, there's been 12 rounds of play.
Yeah, can't be wrong. So 13 opening kills in the server according to HLTV.
Yeah.
I just got tricked.
Well, that's okay. And a couple of hijinks.
Yeah,
it's just a light statistic hyperbole. The orbs are both out. Zoom bangers for both squads. Second mid presence with bomb, so expect to see the A site tested. Still a 3-2 split of resources for the defense.
Well, this is them really now punishing the fact that they have to play heavy towards B. If they want to do an apps explode or at least look for a 1vx scenario, in this case it's 3 coming Zyphon's way.
Such a gift Yakinda is. He can just do it on his own. Wow, Zyphon, I love this angle, but how far would it get him? Oh, absolutely nowhere.
Round over.
Naf knocks him off the balcony, already dipped into pit. Refresh is screaming for aid. Would love to be able to at least hold on to his life. And yeah, I mean, but it's such a horrible feeling when you're already in such a pit. You have to try and find a way in, but one frag really enough to condemn you to a save? The answer is yes, and I say that. Yakinda may not be too happy about 4 people saving their rifles. It may be in his interest. A couple of...
They're being noisy as well. Yeah, they're in quicksand right now. No matter what they do, they can either go for it or they can sit here and try and save, but they're going to struggle their way into a deeper hole. If Yakinda goes down to the AWP, okay, well now they know the AWP's there as well. So look at the pack of hungry dogs. NAF, OC going to join the tail in Banana.
Oh, they're going to execute and try and punish as much of Sprout's save as possible. This could hurt. You're already losing the round. Now you could lose your weapons as well. Liquid trying to twist that knife. The barbed arrowhead ripped out. Take it all with you. On the way in now. Good from Stair. Takes down a leash. Still, Lawrence relieved of his rifle. 3 to save, and the final answer given. 12-1 the score. Sprout desperate for some more.
That round right there is a summary of how easy this is. The fact that they were able to explode on towards A and then still have enough utility to execute on towards B. That says it all, right? Yeah. If you're a hardcore Counter-Strike fan and you just saw that go down, yeah, this one is dire straits.
And NAV handled that first fight with ease. You know, it looked like it was just a slither gap, but you hit your crouch keys, no longer banging your head.
Double AWPs on the CT side, Slacks Airlines lands, and, well, no one's punching their ticket.
Has a chance. Gives it up. Big nade onto the face of Refresh. Might want to think twice about continuing.
They're bullying them so hard.
That's nice. The second AWP launch actually connecting. It was onto the rival AWPer and more found. Launch 2.
12-3 being the solace of all of this.
I think they just love to get off that one before that second half.
This is the correct call, knowing that that AWP is unlikely to rotate because there's one at A and one at B. Going for a set piece in towards the B bomb site here is key. And they don't have a Molotov. They have smoke, sure. No HEs. And I assume that Liquid, once they execute, will go through this. Look how much they have. Couple of smokes, couple of mollies, handful of flashes. Enough to brute force their way in here.
They can make something out of this. Interesting that NAF's been searching for that AWP and will try and come in last with it. Lines up his smoke. Still into the 2 of them. Stare. And Lawrence already 2 frags to the good. Can he get anything more done? A heavy advantage. They cannot give this up. Should be a formality. A third rotates through. Lawrence flashed off. Stare activates over the coffins. Does rain down the double. And only a Liege looking for some style points. Beautiful movement. And run on down. Not allowing him to think it out. Sprout will post their second round, and it is off the back of Lawrence's second AWP. Credit to be given when it is due. That's the first time we've seen the CTs have all 5 alive at the end of a round here in the best of 1.
Yeah, look, there's a positive to take into halftime. If they can grab this, there's going to be a rousing speech. The pissed around, yeah, we can have that conversation after the 2-minute break. Let's see if Liquid can really rub salt in the wounds here. But I think it's a good sign that Stare and Long's contributed here as the B defenders to lock down their side almost single-handedly. Zypher comes here and picks up the 5th and final. And now it's back to that 3-man B lane with Slacks top mid. He's going to flash himself forward and going to take the fight. He's going to go down easy as you like. But Lonks again, he'll draw things back.
This has been a nice change-up. Keeps it level in the state of play for our 15th. Smoke applies a lot of pressure towards mid, but it is only a lowly Elige just having a jiggle and a walk. I jiggle when I walk too. There's Refresh onto Elige.
Consider getting cheeky with it now, hoping to exploit some gaps here.
It's still not the end of the world though. Sprout, this is compulsory. Long's still alive, which does certainly fill us with a little hope.
They can execute again, but I don't think Yakinda will. I think he's going to try and go contact here.
Yakinda's flight path is always interesting to observe. We'll see how he goes through motions. Just as that smoke balloon from the CTs actually covers his movement. Oh, it's so cheeky. He hasn't made any noise. Now it spreads. Yeah, but he gets his molly down. He forces their hand into the site. Refresh uses his hand to slap Yakinda out of it, the round. OC desperate to plant the flank as well from NAF is interesting. Up Speedway should be uncontested on the plant. Stare unawares as well. Zypher leaving A late. OC and NAF looking to piece together the 13th round. It's all about timing for Nafly. From the back. Oh, and he's got info. Screaming, likely Coffin's exit. NAF has locked the door behind them. And the Canadian sneaking on in. It's all about OC survival as well. Plays the back box. NAVI's going to be cruel if he whips out his knife, trying to speed up the pace. A quick catch. OC to be hunt down now. This is when NAV should activate, and he doesn't need to as OC hits a second. One-on-one established off the nade. Zypher, no idea. 13. Absurd from Liquid. A recovered squad. Should just be putting it in after the break. Sprout scratching their heads. Liquid are in Brazil. They've arrived. Game 2.
Missed. That would have been a great pick to find. He had the opportunity. Keto's pushing through Palace right now at the moment, and Frozen is covering 2 different angles. Timing is everything. Although Keto's hit the pause button, and he's going to hear that footstep as well. Frozen is looking for this, but Keto's going to bide his time and make his play late. And he's told the defense, he's told his teammates, I have A. They just ran away from it. Stack the B bomb site. 50 seconds left.
Oh, this could be a really good stack, especially with the M4 and the AWP. Starting to get over here. They're going to be boosting into the corner with... If they had a lot of Molotovs on the T side, they probably Molotov this corner and check it. But with only one, if they use it anywhere else, that little boost in the corner with just a pistol is going to be deadly.
The only X factor is Searson having to manage the angles. They boosted up in the previous round. You can tell he's very nervous of something coming in. So Tapson says, nope, keep your op trained. I'll watch it from market. I'll let you know if they're coming.
Oh, they're crunching them. There's only 22 seconds. This is an absolute nightmare. Mouse, they've built themselves such a good position, but it could go away. Nice opening for JDC. They checked that without the Molotov, and that's huge. 10 seconds now on the clock, and it's still a 3-on-4. And the flank is coming in pretty quick. Tabson's going to get one. Searson's down here on the low ground. 5 seconds left. He misses one, and it goes down. But can they find it? Keto just has to run, and they'll win the round. No time for the bomb plant. Man, that was close.
Oh my lord, again, the missed shot on the planter from Searson, but at least it gets him off the plant because he knew he couldn't repeat into it. He had to stick that and trust his teammate. Actually, his teammate hits the shot on the repeat. If he sticks that plant, they might have actually won that round. Yeah. Mouse actually does a pretty good job working their way through that stack at the B bomb site, but they have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. 13-7.
Unbelievable scenes. That, I mean, Keto also, not that I don't want to blame him, but he could have run into a bullet right there and lost it in the last 2 seconds. So super scary stuff. 7-13. Winnable still for Mouse, but the problem is really the money. And I guess that is true for both teams at the moment.
Yeah, this game is just on a knife's edge. It can tilt either way or the other. This is another big round that dictates a lot of whether Mouse can keep fighting or whether Big is going to have all the advantages in the world to close out the map and go 2-0 in this Legend stage. Vershin is going to wake his way up. Connector. Mouse is going to re-rotate around to the A bomb site. So a split with one player lurking here and the other 4 to take attention away. And there's 3 defenders at this part of the map.
Surely if Tabson gets smoked off, he has to...
What is not smoked? What is not smoked? I'm holding it. I'm gonna peek library. Library. Oh, he's an second guy. Second guy. They have double op. Nice. Mid behind. Yeah. You got this. Nice shot!
Yeah, Ellie giggling all the way to the bank. Liquid have arrived in Brazil. Sprout, unfortunately, feeling the wrath of Liquid in form. At least they were on the first half. T-side haul of 13 rounds after getting blown out in their first. Liquid do seem to have at least found their footing whilst also disrupting or uprooting Sprout.
Yeah, look, Liquid are warmed up now, right? This is the fact of the matter. The first game of the day, they got blown out of the server, and now here they are to play 5 down middle, Alex.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. They want to get this done now. Just get that 16 on the board and move on with their lives. Oof, okay, Lonks with a bit of a rebuttal. Big from Slacks, hunting into the UFPs, not the play. And punished accordingly. That's a fine from Zyphon. His Glock is sharp. And it puts NAV into dire straits. He's got to get his ass over to B, or does he? We'll find out. He's second-guessing it himself. Refresh well aware that the last was seen on A. Open runway to get that bomb down on B. Stare to housekeep banana.
A lot of ground to cover here for NAF on the jump spot. He might get some info. Oh, looking the wrong way. So I think that's gone one way.
Yeah, he's got out of there. Stare would rather take the duel as a duo. NAF, 12 bullets. Can they connect into those two heads? Look at this firing squad. Trying to take the duel in unison. Make it impossible as NAF. Oh no! They weren't ready for that. Second orange is to be cleared over the head. It's a refresh. Screws their head back on tight. Good God. That would have been a very sour mood in the camp if you lose that one over the top. No one considered it.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. No one considered it. That is a little bit curious in itself. You think maybe a footstep would have been heard in that environment, but this could be a factor of the stage here because Stare, he didn't address that whatsoever, and Refresh just hoping, please don't clear me.
That's a high sense move. You got to track him as that Z-axis.
3 shots missed.
Yep.
Woof. Okay, yeah. Probability of that one falling apart was getting pretty high, but look at this force buy. Scout in the hands of OC.
Okay. You wouldn't do that again, would you, with your Galil? Who is this brave soldier? Okay, well, respect to Slacks. He's having a couple of pot shots into the scout, and there has been a casualty elsewhere. Yakinda.
A big casualty. He had an M4 dropped across to him, which he's wielded to no success. Elige has scooped it up. So carrying that now back over towards A. This is the wrong call.
Nitro does have a smoke, so best case scenario, he throws it out upon first contact. Oh, they might just run. They might just run. No time for fun and games with his smoke deployed. He needs to get it out now and hope for the rotate through. He's managed to scavenge another one, but they are not respecting that. Refresh looking for answers. Nitro with the opportunity. Ahead and looking the wrong way was Refresh. 2 to the body, center of mass, and 1 HP to spare.
Well, the remaining 3 members of Liquid will do their best to save it. Even though OC's poking around, holding on to this M4 is key. There is a bit of a issue here of Zyphon, who's been able to slink his way up in towards the A side. So if OC does dip back, likely to see him falter and fall, but this M4 on Elige will stay in play most likely.
I mean, I know it's early days, but there is one framing we haven't considered.
A Liquid choke?
No. Well, sure, but but Liquid's CT side performance on Inferno was not a fluke.
That's okay. All right.
You know, I'm just going to put the angle out there. We can come back to it. But woof, what if their CT side was not a one-trick pony? What if it happens again? They've got the world in their hands at this point with a 13-2 half. Admittedly, now a lost pistol. But you only need 3 rounds over the course of the next 15. I mean, really. Just got to play this one conservative. Just walk it home.
I really like the decision-making of Refresh there, right, to get smoked off. We know in the meta at the moment that a lot of teams are going to do a stockpile of smoke grenades. And Refresh, once he sees that smoke come down, he disrespects it. He goes, if I run into the side and there's nobody here, then they're just playing this hijinks,
the jig
right?
is out.
Exactly, and they identified that quite quickly. If Nitro got that kill, maybe a different dialogue to be had. But Elige now with this M4 over towards Boiler Room. We need to stay on board with him, and he will be mollied out of position for now. There was a flash to try and facilitate this, and wow, big upsetting Mouse, 16-7. They've taken down both of their quote-unquote German org rivals today. Yeah. So that's a massive victory for Big, who are one best 3 away from the playoffs.
Big 3-0 fans.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. And Searson seems to be at the top of the scoreboard every time I check, which is also kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think he got fed up with that online dialogue.
Yeah, he's like, you know what?
I might just start shooting everybody.
Just start shooting everybody, and maybe I'll bring my mouse mat from home.
Yeah, he's been owning, and I really love that interview, that headline.
Yeah, oh, it's perfect.
It's exactly what you want from your AWPer here, but this is exactly what you want from Liquid. The stack is in the right place. 4 players on the site. Nitro with a Molotov.
Nick Canella.
How does he want to use this? You've got a couple of options here, because if they execute, you might want to throw it into pool as opposed to slowing them down. I think he wants to separate here, but if he throws it into pool, they're all going to have to run straight into sight.
Yeah, and send them into NAF, or not anymore. Life cut short, courtesy of the Galil. Stare. Gives them the opening kill, and the whole squad now starting to gather. Liquid are in the right place, but will they find the right frags? It's Elige. The M4 now spotted. Slacks feels the brunt of that pre-aim. Good damage, better. Yakinda on the dig, still alive and kicking. From behind now, Elige will strike, and Sprout bleeding out. We need a frag back. Nothing to be celebrated. Only Zyphon from the flank, and now Liquid poised for their 14th. On the save, Yossi plucks him from the sky. 1 click of the dig, 14 found.
Wow, that investment of the M4 in the second round pays off in the third. That is miraculous stuff right there. Elige continuing to find impact here. I think I said he had 11 kills in that opening matchup against Mouse. Well, he's up to 20 already here, and his teammates are here to play as well. 14 for Yakinda and NAF, and that's a shot from OC in the back of the dome. OC with 11 and 8 for Nitro. So the heavy hitters are here to play, and Sprout, they understand the situation. We're out of rounds, boys. We have to buy.
See what Slacks can get done. T-side or pick, notoriously difficult. Glass cannon, never mind that. I wouldn't want to go near Banana with a barge pole.
You bang on. A glass cannon, AWP, T-side Inferno. No thanks.
No, no, no.
How are you going to navigate anywhere on the map without being harassed by utility or like spam through smokes? This is going to be rough ride.
See what they can make happen. Rather standard. Crossfire established. Elige, NAV, supported by OC. Maybe they're not expecting an AWP. Perhaps someone oversteps the line. Elige not known to do so, but there it is. Slacks does put his name in the feed, puts Elige in a grave, and OC now responsible. Tucked in on the site, calling for Yakinda's aid as well. He gets through, short to be cleared. Only a Mac 10 up there, and now taken away. Slacks, can you get anything more done? The flashes are good. The frag is better. Zyphon one. It's Slacks again. A lifeline provided for Sprout. Will Nitro voice concerns? He's got everything you could need for a retake, a full belt of utility.
He doesn't have to go for this round, but he could give it a good look in. You highlighted the util here. Now that he's going around short side, it's a bit more difficult to piece this together. And I think he is just going to play the safe game of the save game. Would love to see it in an environment like this when you know it's against these younger individuals, the less experienced individuals, really just trying to push them around the server here, but not wanting to give any opportunities, just wanting to do some damage. And as they exit his direction, he might mop up the final few. There's the AWP removed.
Oh, he can pick it up if the bomb blasts it towards him.
You have to be careful now with the radius of the bomb, right? He knows he has to tuck back a bit. It's backside plant. That means that Stair will stay alive. I'm not sure if Nitro will get back there in time. And no, he won't. Just the Galil carried forward here. Now, that AWP, I think that came from Zyphon. I think Zyphon dropped him that AWP to make it possible. So they put so much faith in Slacks to hit the kills he needed to when the scoreline was at 14-4 and he delivered. Yeah. So that is a great little boost to the confidence right there for the AWP player from Sprout, but he doesn't have enough funds to get one out again. Thereby is, oh, hold up,
this is the weirdest buy, bro.
What?
Yeah, double AWP and Deegs, of course, and he knows Slacks likes to release his crouch key on those stairs. Will fire off a warning shot. AWP in play, they say. And Smokes has already plume top of mid and long respectively.
That's curious that they've gone for double AWPs here. Would have been a lot more utility available. There would have been a rifle in the mix
Nitro
as
says,
well.
sorry, I didn't get the AWP, and they said, oh.
And he gives away everything. Look at himself as in-game leader. He gave the AWP to OC, he bought one for him, and he gave the Galil to NAV. So, nice. Vending machine Nitro right now. I know how that feels.
Oh, a little cheeky glimpse from the fingertips. Thinks better of it. Retake util will delay.
But they're boosting over this here, so you have to be careful with the regress. The thing I like about Sprout is they have very good understandings of how they should react. I think the things that have fallen apart for them is losing duels through smokes or losing heads-up fights that they should have been converting. So now top mid utility, you can see this being limped out. Very standard way of throwing it these days. Bouncer off the wall. It's always nice when you have the incendiary out of porch as well. But they do have this top mid control.
Yeah, I mean, if they can group up and hit the side together, it's going to be very hard to hold unless OC has one of his pop-offs.
He's creeping for info here.
Lee's calling for raid. Info, 3 at least counted on long side, walking in, timing good on his peaks. He needs support, they're wrapping in. OC called upon, does deliver, one through the box, finished by NAV. Liquid destroy. Sprout on arrival. Just crushed at the hands of OC and NAFLite. 2 to go, both low. Zyphon catching a lot through the spray. They need to reload, they need to push and plan, and it's enough. Zyphon does so much work. Nitro too far away to find a weapon, but mission accomplished. 15 is found. And Sprout, not a lot to bring into this round. It's Glocks and it's what? 2,600 on the high end. That is bleak for a 10-round run demanded of them. That first half is just going to completely haunt them.
Yeah, that was almost a double there from OC as well. So the double AWP setup paying off in a big way here. They're only going to carry one forward, sure, but as you mentioned, Sprout are on the ropes right now.
A lot of attention on Stair.
They don't even have utility.
He's got a good spawn chat and he's charging up Banana. As are Liquid. They want to bring the fight to them. just charging straight in. Cruelty onto Lawrence. Lukinda's finishing this right here, right now. Liquid charged through. Stair was so far forward, lost in the smoke now, and lost in the source. Sprout shut down. Only 21 rounds. Liquid back in business. A recovery.